Assassin's Creed Shadows just got a massive news drop with a full developer interview revealing new features, gameplay mechanics, and surprising details about the upcoming game. With the game set to launch on the 20th of March, hopefully with no more delays, Ubisoft has been dropping a lot of updates, and honestly, it's making me really excited about their newest title. In the video, I'll go over everything we've learned so far, from progression and side content to exploration and new gameplay details for both protagonists, all of which could make it one of the best AC games in a long time. First off, the developers have confirmed that it would take 30 to 40 hours to complete the main story of Assassin's Creed Shadows, which is comparable to AC Origins, but shorter than Odyssey and Valhalla. However, fully completing the game, including side content, is expected to take around 80 hours. Ubisoft recently revealed there will be plenty of side content ranging from minigames and exploration to an in-depth base customization system. But before diving into what the game actually offers in terms of content and gameplay, the developers have announced an interesting addition, which is the canon mode. This mode removes narrative choices, meaning that players will be locked into specific dialogues and experience the game's official canon story. The setting is optional and can be chosen at the beginning of the game, but once selected, it cannot be changed mid-playthrough. Now, the game is not supposed to have multiple endings, so I guess this feature seems to cater to players who want a more linear and immersive experience without worrying too much about dialogue choices. Regardless of the setting and the choices player makes, the ending of the game should remain the same. So let's move into the big details, specifically what side content we can expect. One big feature that has recently been showcased in detail is the hideout. Located in the valley of Izumisetsu, it serves as a base which offers plenty of personalization options that heavily impact gameplay. Players will be able to construct various buildings, each serving a unique function. For instance, the dojo will be used for training allies, while a forge will be used to upgrade existing weapons. Some other rooms confirmed by the developers are stables, which increase the amount of resources received, and kakurega, which lets players purchase safe houses around Japan, essentially expanding the range of the base's operation. On top of that, there will also be themed rooms which grant various bonuses. For example, the Terra will boost the amount of XP gained while exploring the world, while the Zashiki will increase health restoration for Naoe and Yasuke. All of those buildings can be built and upgraded using various resources found throughout the world, specifically wood, minerals, and crops. The customization options go beyond just buildings. Players can design corridors to join the buildings, place pathways and fences, add lighting, and even populate the hideout with various animals and miscellaneous items like plants and rocks, making it feel truly personal. Additionally, the interior of the buildings can be customized as well. Completing certain activities in the world will reward players with unique items that can be displayed in the hideout, like animal paintings. Players can also modify wall decorations and display their armor and gear to add a unique touch to the base. The confirmed ally system will also play a big role in the hideout. By building a dojo, the players can train the allies to make them stronger for combat. The developers have stated that the allies will actively use the hideout facilities when constructed, creating a very lively and immersive atmosphere. Overall, it feels like a major evolution of the settlement system from AC Valhalla. While the concept is familiar, Shadows gives players much more freedom and creativity in designing their own home base, making it probably one of the most in-depth customization systems in all of Ubisoft's history. Alright, so let's move on to the rest of the side content the game has to offer. Ubisoft tends to be very predictable with certain activities, as many of them appear across their games, and AC Shadows is no exception. There will be plenty of places to explore, including castles and temples, which can be infiltrated. Each castle will have a die show that needs to be eliminated, along with a chest containing a legendary weapon for either Yasuke or Naoe as a reward. The game will also feature shrines where the protagonists can pray, as well as temples that hold lost pages of scrolls, which can be collected throughout the world. One of the new minigames introduced in Shadows is Sumiye, where players must quietly approach animals and paint them. The paintings can then be displayed in the hideout, adding a nice touch of personalization. Another interesting addition is Kohun, which are ancient tombs that can be explored by both protagonists. Some of these locations require Naoe's grappling hook to access, while others rely on Yasuke's strength to move obstacles, encouraging players to switch between the two characters. An interesting aspect of the game is the introduction of character-exclusive side activities, meaning certain minigames can only be played by either Naoe or Yasuke. For instance, Naoe-exclusive activities include Kujikiri, a timing and memory challenge tied to meditation, as well as hidden trails, where she will use her grappling hook and parkour skills to track down hidden treasures. Meanwhile, Yasuke-exclusive activities include Kata, where she must execute a specific series of fight moves within a time limit, and horse archery, where she will need to hit targets while riding on horseback. Now, as someone who enjoys side content in games, especially in recent, AC titles, I think it is great to see so many different minigames being introduced. I also like the idea of character-exclusive minigames, as it encourages players to try both protagonists rather than sticking to one. While I initially planned to mainly complete the game of Naue, as she fits the traditional assassin aesthetic more, I am now definitely intrigued to see how Yasuke's unique activities play out. Now, the mentioned minigames will reward players with knowledge points, which I use for progression. Based on the information from the developers, it looks like certain skills and abilities will be locked until the player reaches a certain knowledge rank. Now, while it seems like an interesting progression option, I don't like the idea of having to complete side content in order to basically develop the character and unlock more skills and upgrades. I really hope there will be another, more natural way to earn knowledge points as the story progresses, rather than locking it behind playing various minigames. Naue and Yasuke will each have their own unique progression trees called mastery trees, which makes sense given their vastly different playstyles. Naue has two archetypes, Shinobi and Assassin, while Yasuke has one, the Samurai. The system will not only apply to archetypes, but also specific weapons. This means that if you enjoy using a particular weapon, like the kunai or the katana, you will be able to further develop unique skills and abilities tied to it. I think it is a great system as it replaces the traditional skill tree, giving players more freedom to focus on specific weapons or playstyles instead of following a fixed progression path. Different skills and abilities will be unlocked with mastery points, which are earned as the character levels up. Players can gain them through completing quests, side activities, and defeating enemies, ensuring a steady and natural progression without having to dive too much into minigames. The developers also confirmed that once you unlock all mastery abilities in your skill tree, you will gain access to a new knowledge tree, where you can unlock passive upgrades. We have seen the system in AC Valhalla, where it provided boosts to various gameplay aspects like assassination damage, weapon damage, or critical hit rate. While we are on the topic of progression and getting stronger, let's talk about gear and weapons. Players will be able to find and equip different gear that strengthens their character. The items will come in 5 rarities: common, uncommon with 1 perk slot, rare with up to 2 perk slots, epic with a chance of boosted stats, and legendary with unique stats and perks. The game promises a large variety of perks, offering different abilities, ranging from a simple damage boost to status effects triggered under specific conditions. With so many gear and perk combinations, players will be able to completely change the playstyle. As shown in gameplay footage, a certain setup could make Yasuke more stealth-focused or turn Naue into a more aggressive and offensive fighter. With so many options, I am sure everyone will find a build that suits their playstyle. Another great feature is transmog, allowing players to customize the appearance of their weapons and gear without affecting stats. After building a forge in the hideout, players can modify different parts of their weapons, such as guards, handles, and blades, and mix and match them with other weapon parts from their inventory. Now, let's talk about the gameplay mechanics. In my previous video, I briefly covered the core gameplay differences between the two protagonists, but the developers have since revealed a few new features that will spice up the experience. First off, I want to address a controversial change. The Hidden Blade will not be an instant kill at the start of the game. According to the devs, as players level up and improve their stealth abilities, the Hidden Blade will eventually allow for one-hit assassinations. However, at the beginning, it will only remove 2 health segments, meaning stronger enemies will survive the assassination attempt. Fortunately, there will be an option to toggle this feature off, but Ubisoft has stated that they want players to experience the natural progression, meaning working their way to later unlock the one-hit assassinations. Next up, we have the dynamic cutting system. We already saw this in action in one of the first gameplay trailers, where Naue used her kusarigama to cut through trees while fighting enemies. Now, I don't know how much it will actually impact gameplay, but it definitely is a cool detail that adds some interaction with the environment. Another major addition is the ally system. I briefly mentioned this when discussing the hideout, but it seems to be a much bigger mechanic than expected. Players will be able to recruit allies from the world who can assist in both quests and combat. In the official footage, we saw one ally distract enemies in battle, which is a great tactical option. I assume certain allies would have their own unique skills and abilities, allowing for various combinations. Lastly, the developers mentioned that allies can also be used as part of a spy net. While without specific details, my guess is that it will function similarly to the Ravens in AC Valhalla, helping mark enemies and important locations. I guess we'll have to wait until launch to see how it fully plays out. Finally, let's talk about the first DLC expansion that has already been revealed, Claws of Awaji. The expansion will add around 10 hours of content and introduce a brand new area, Awaji, an island located west of Osaka. Alongside the new location, the DLC will bring additional story missions, side activities, and new challenges to further expand on the base game's world. The expansion will also feature new enemies, specifically the Sanzoku Ippa, who, according to the devs, will set different traps and ambushes for the protagonist, making them a much more unpredictable threat compared to the enemies found in the base game. Another exciting addition is a new weapon for Naue, the bow, a long staff used in martial arts. Of course, the expansion will also introduce new gear, abilities, and upgrades for both Naoe and Yasuke. It is important to note that the DLC will be free for everyone who pre-orders the game. However, at this time, Ubisoft hasn't confirmed its official release date or how much it will cost for those who don't pre-order. My prediction is that the DLC will be available for separate purchase once the game fully launches. So that is it for the video. With plenty of brand new gaming mechanics, progression systems, and side content, AC Shadows is shaping up to be an exciting entry in the series. I think no matter if you're an old school fan or prefer the recent RPG entries, there's definitely something here for everyone. Let me know if the recent reviews made you more excited for the game, or if you still think that it will perform way below expectations. As always, if you want to keep up with gaming news, especially RPGs, make sure to subscribe and leave a like. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.